All you need to know about coronavirus. Countries around the world are scrambling to halt the spread of coronavirus pandemic. As of April 4th, more than 60,000 people worldwide have died of COVID-19, the highly infectious respiratory disease caused by the coronavirus. The number of people who have tested positive for COVID-19 has exceeded 1 million, according to the data compiled by Johns Hopkins University. Now the first question is that what is a coronavirus? According to the World Health Organization WHO, coronaviruses are a family of viruses that cause illnesses ranging from common cold to more severe diseases such as severe acute respiratory syndrome, which is commonly known as SARS, and the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, which is known as MERS. These viruses were originally transmitted from animals to people. SARS, for instance, was transmitted from civet cats to humans, while MERS moved to humans from a type of camel. Now, what's in the name? A lot, apparently. COVID-19, where CO stands for corona, VI stands for virus, D for disease, and 19 for 2019, the year it was first identified. So that is why it has been named as COVID-19. The novel coronavirus identified by Chinese authorities on January 7th and since named COVID-19 is a new strain that had not previously identified in humans. Little is known about it, although human-to-human transmission has been confirmed. Now, what are the symptoms? According to the WHO, signs of infection include fever, cough, shortness of breath, and breathing difficulties. In more severe cases, it can lead to pneumonia, multiple organ failure, and even death. Current estimates of the incubation period, the time between the infection and the onset of symptoms, ranges from 1 to 14 days. Most infected people show symptoms within 5 to 6 days after exposure. However, infected patients can also be asymptomatic, meaning they do not display any symptoms despite having the virus in their system. Now here are the different varying levels of severity of COVID-19, seasonal flu, SARS and MERS. The fatal cases for seasonal flu are only 0.1%. SARS and MERS are very dangerous as compared to COVID-19. They are 10% and 34% respectively. COVID-19 has a fatal case record of 3.4%, but that does not mean that it's not dangerous. It is spreading so fast, and because we don't have any vaccine, it is more dangerous than SARS and MERS. Now, how dangerous is the new coronavirus? Thought to have been transmitted to humans from an as yet unidentified animal source. The new virus spreads primarily through respiratory droplets, such as those generated when an infected person coughs or sneezes. On average, it takes about 5 to 6 days for someone to show symptoms after becoming infected. Now, there are mild cases which look like common cold, which have some respiratory symptoms, sore throat, runny nose, fever, all the way through pneumonia. And there can be varying levels of severity of pneumonia all the way through multiple organ failure and death. However, in most cases, symptoms have remained mild. A study of 138 patients infected with the new virus in Wuhan showed the most common symptoms were fever, fatigue, and dry cough. A third of patients also reported muscle pain and difficulty breathing, while about 10% had atypical symptoms including diarrhea and nausea. The patients who ranged in age from 22 to 92 were admitted to the Zhongnan Hospital of Wuhan University between January 1st and 28. So it's not age specific. Anyone can be infected by COVID-19. Now, if we look at the timeline of coronavirus, last year on December 31st, China alerts the WHO of several pneumonia cases in Wuhan. That was the first time that alarm bells started ringing that something is wrong because there were too many pneumonia cases. Now by January 7th, France confirmed Europe's first case of pneumonia. At that time, no one knew that it's COVID-19 or coronavirus. Now, on 11th of January, 4 days after that, China announced their first death. 2 days later, WHO reports case in Thailand, the first outside China. On January 30th, WHO declares outbreak a global health emergency. On February 2nd, first death outside China recorded in the Philippines. On February 7th, Chinese doctor and whistleblower Li Wenliang dies. He was the first person to report that this is a new disease. Nobody listened to him. The Chinese authorities tried to shut him up, and if they would have listened to him a lot earlier, things might have been different. On February 11th, WHO names virus as COVID-19. On February 14th, Egypt confirms Africa's first case. And so on, the number of cases has been increasing ever since. Now, how deadly it is. The number of fatalities from the new coronavirus has overwhelmingly surpassed the toll of 2002-03 SARS outbreak, which also originated in China. SARS killed about 9% of those it infected, nearly 800 people. Worldwide, more than 300 in China alone. MERS, which did not spread as widely, was more deadly, killing 1/3 of those infected. While the new coronavirus is more widespread than SARS in terms of case numbers, the mortality rate remains considerably low, at approximately 3.4% according to WHO. Now, where the cases have been reported, it's basically all over the world. Since March 16, more cases were registered outside mainland China than inside, marking a new milestone in the spread of a global pandemic. The virus has spread from China all around the world, prompting the WHO to label the COVID-19 outbreak a pandemic. Human-to-human transmission became evident after cases were recorded with no apparent link to China. Now, what is being done to stop it from spreading? Scientists around the globe are racing to develop a vaccine, but have warned it is not likely one will be available for mass distribution before 2021. Meanwhile, growing number of countries have introduced a series of sweeping measures to slow the spread of the coronavirus, including nationwide lockdowns, ban on gatherings, closure of schools, restaurants, bars, and sports clubs, as well as issuing mandatory work from home decrees. Most of the international airlines have cancelled flights the world over. Some countries have banned non-citizens from entering their territories, and several more have evacuated their citizens from abroad. Now, the next question is that where did the virus originate? Chinese health authorities are still trying to determine the origin of the virus, which they say likely came from a seafood market in Wuhan, China, where wildlife was also traded illegally. On February 7, Chinese researchers said the virus could have spread from an infected animal species to humans through illegally trafficked pangolins, which are prized in Asia for food and medicine. Scientists have pointed to either bats or snakes as possible source of the virus as well. The WHO on March 11th declared the crisis as a global pandemic. This is the first time in history that any disease has been named a pandemic. Now, how can you protect yourself from COVID-19? There are some basic rules. Wash your hands frequently and thoroughly with soap for at least 20 seconds. Cover your face with a tissue or your elbow when coughing or sneezing. Then throw the tissue in a waste bin. You need to maintain a social distance of about 2 meters or 6 feet from one person to another. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Now, the other debatable thing is whether to wear the mask or to not wear the mask. WHO said different as compared to CDC in US. CDC said that yes, you need to wear a mask, whereas WHO said that there is no need to wear the mask. It's up to an individual choice, but the thing is that if you wear a mask, there is a false sense of security, and people, they tend to go near to the other person, which makes them more vulnerable to this virus, because a piece of cloth cannot stop the small particles or the small virus or the small respiratory droplets to go into your system. Secondly, if you are not wearing the N95 or N99 mask, then the other mask won't stop those microparticles from going into your system. However, if you know that someone is infected, then the mask would help. If you are in a direct contact with someone who is suffering from these symptoms of COVID-19, it's better to put a mask on. Last but not the least, there have been several videos and several articles coming from China where they have been able to stop the spread. People are taking steam from humidifiers. They are gargling with hot water and adding some salt to the water, because this virus goes to your respiratory tract, and if you try to eliminate it from your respiratory tract, then it might be possible that you do not contract this virus or this disease. Now, all these facts are not proven by WHO or any other health agency, but you can always give it a go. Once a day, once you come home after buying groceries, always change your clothes, take a hot water bath, drink some warm fluids, gargle with hot water and salt so that at least your throat and your respiratory tract are clear. So until there is any vaccine, I think these are the steps which everyone should do. So stay at home, stay safe, stay away from everyone, be with your family, and only come out of houses for essential work. So that's pretty much it for this week. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. Until next week, thank you and goodbye.